Hi, I'm Charlotte Reeves from Unleashed Education. Welcome to another Editing Toolbox video. So in these videos, we share one quick tip, trick, or technique to help make your pet photography editing life easier. And I have an awesome one for you today. If you wish you could make really easy, really accurate, really fast subject selections in Photoshop, now you can. I'm going to share the one setting that you need to change to make that happen. So if you also use Lightroom, you'll know that Lightroom has some pretty awesome subject selection tools in the masking component of that program. They work really, really well, but some things you just have to do in Photoshop. Up until this point, the subject selection in Photoshop hasn't been that great, and you usually need to go into the Select and Mask workspace to really refine those edges. Well, you don't need to do that anymore, because Photoshop has added some technology that makes subject selections so much better. So without further ado, I'm going to show you this one setting that you need to change. So with Photoshop open, just go to Photoshop and then Preferences. You'll need to go to Image Processing. Now, you might not see this if you've got an earlier version of Photoshop. So do make sure that you're on the latest version of Photoshop for this. So you just need to go to Image Processing. Now you'll probably see your subject processing set to device, which does give you quicker results. I want you to change this to cloud. This will actually send the information in your image to the cloud. It'll do some crazy advanced processing, send the information back to your computer and give you a much better result when you're trying to select the subject. Now it does take a little bit longer and it relies on having an internet connection, but I can vouch that it works amazingly. I'm going to show you just how well this works. So I'm just going to leave that on device for now. So we've got this photo of Enzo here, and I'm just going to go select subject using the device mode. So if we go select subject, it will very quickly give us a subject selection. Now, if we add a mask to this, so I'm just going to click the little mask icon in the layers palette. It will add a mask so it actually masks out the whole rest of the background. So as you can see, this selection, I mean, it is of the subject, but it's not entirely accurate. It's a little bit sort of hard edged in most places, and when the fur gets kind of blurry and out of focus, that hard edge kind of look probably isn't going to work that well if we're trying to do something underneath that layer or maybe apply some different kind of effect to the background or the subject. So let's just go and duplicate that layer. I'm just going to remove that mask from the duplicated layer and turn that one off underneath. So we'll keep that other one as a reference. Now I'm going to go in and change the setting. So Preferences, Image Processing, change it to Cloud, go OK. And this time when I go select Subject, it's going to think about it for a little bit longer. It'll pop up a message and say that it's processing the image in the cloud. It does take a little bit longer, but it's really not that long to wait. Oh, and here we are. Okay, so let's just add a mask to this selection and see how it differs from that device selection. So add a mask and look how much softer where it's appropriate and more accurate this mask is. It's actually sort of feathering the edges and it's sort of following the edges of the fur here really nicely. So just to get a better kind of representation of the difference between these two, I'm going to add a layer underneath here and fill it with black, and that will really show the difference between these two. So this one here is the cloud selection, and then this one here is a device selection. So as you can see, it's really not that great in terms of accuracy and, you know, feathering the edges and giving you a nice selection. So that's the cloud, and that's a device. So I highly recommend you change this one Photoshop setting. While it does take a little bit longer to process, it's a much more accurate selection and will usually mean you don't need to go into the Select and Mask workspace to actually manually refine that edge. It's a pretty good selection just the way it is. Now, there's one more unsolicited tip I would like to give you that's going to make things even quicker for you. So I'm all about keyboard shortcuts, and yes, you can set up a keyboard shortcut for selecting the subject. I have set one up, I use it all the time. So if you need a refresher on keyboard shortcuts, you just need to go into Edit, keyboard shortcuts, you'll need to find select subject in the menu. So make sure you've got shortcuts for application menus up. So it's under the select menu and you'll just need to go to subject. So as you can see, I've put in a keyboard shortcut that's Option Command S. If you need to type that in, just highlight that field and then go Option Command S or any other keyboard shortcut you would like that you would prefer. If there's a conflict, it will let you know about that, and then just click OK. So now I'll just go back in my history. So if I want to do a really super quick subject selection, Option Command S, a little bit of processing time, and then there we go, a nice quick subject selection. Hopefully these couple of little tips will help to speed up your editing process in Photoshop, because in these editing toolbox videos, that's what we're all about. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.